Charlie Munger famously said the first 100K is a beast. He wasn't being rude, he was teaching physics. Getting to 100K is like pushing a boulder uphill. It fights you every inch of the way. But once you cross it, gravity flips. Smash subscribe to learn how to defy financial gravity. Let's dive in. We start with the warning. Munger says, I don't care what you have to do, find a way. Why is this specific number the holy grail? Because under 100K, you are just a laborer. You are trading sweat for dollars. Getting to 100K is the survival phase of a video game where you have no armor and a wooden stick. It's miserable, it's hard, and it's mandatory. If you don't cross this line, you never actually start playing the real game of wealth. Here is the secret code. Capital scales well. Labor does not scale. You can only work 16 hours a day before you collapse. Money can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without coffee breaks or complaints. This slide is the difference between being a landlord and being the janitor. The janitor scrubs the floor, the landlord owns the floor. Your goal is to stop scrubbing and start owning. Until you have capital, you are just a high-functioning machine part. Here is the full code. Box 1, capital scales well. Box 2, money rides momentum. This is the secret. Labor has no momentum. If you stop working, you stop getting paid. But money has inertia. Once you get that first 100K rolling, it wants to keep moving. It builds its own speed. Getting the mass moving is the hard part. Steering the momentum is the easy part. You are trying to build a machine that runs without you. Look at the math of why it feels pointless. You invest $100, you make $10, who cares? That buys a sandwich. But look at the bottom, you invest $100,000, you make $10,000. That buys freedom. It is the exact same market, the exact same 10% return. The only difference is the volume. You have to suffer through the sandwich phase, where the returns feel insulting, to get to the freedom phase, where the returns replace your salary. Don't despise the small start. This is the only metaphor that matters. The snowball. At the top of the hill, the snowball is tiny and you have to push it with your bare hands. Your hands get cold, your back hurts, and it barely moves. That's your first 5 years of investing. But look at the bottom. Eventually, the snowball gets so big it crushes everything in its path, including your bills. The first 100K is the push. Everything after that is just gravity taking over. This chart proves why you feel stuck. Look at the timeline. It takes 7.84 years just to get the first 100K. That is nearly 8 years of grinding. But look what happens after. The next 900K flies by. The first 100K is the price of admission to the $1 Million Club. You spend 25% of your time just building the foundation. If you quit at year 7 because it's taking too long, you are walking away right before the rocket lifts off. And here is the trap. As soon as you get a little money, you want to act like Jordan Belfort. Buying a white Ferrari when you have 100K isn't a flex. It's a financial vasectomy. You are cutting off your future growth to look cool for strangers at a stoplight. Lifestyle creep is the silent killer. Every dollar you spend on a depreciating toy is a soldier you just fired from your army. Keep them on the front lines. Don't let the media gaslight you. They tell you you're broke because of avocado toast. Give me a break. Skipping breakfast doesn't make you a millionaire. This is a distraction to keep you focused on pennies while you lose dollars. The problem isn't the toast. It's the rent, the car payment, and the lack of income. Focusing on $5 expenses is like trying to drain the Titanic with a teaspoon. Ignore the toast. Fix the structural leaks. This slide proves why it feels so hard. In the first 6 years, 85% of your wealth comes from your own savings. That means you are doing all the heavy lifting. The compound interest is barely helping. It's only contributing 15%. It feels unfair. You are sweating and your money is lounging by the pool. This is the brute force phase. There is no hack here. You just have to grind, save, and not expect magic yet. But look what happens just 1 year later. Suddenly, interest is doing 33% of the work. The scales tip. You went from pushing the car to driving the car. This is the moment the beast becomes your best friend. If you quit at year 6, you did all the work for none of the reward. Staying in the game long enough to let the interest take the wheel is the only strategy that works. How do we kill that 7-year wait? Heavy offense. This isn't just work harder. Look at the list: continuing classes for certifications and switching jobs. Loyalty is expensive. Often the fastest way to get a 10K raise isn't to beg your boss, it's to find a new one. Side hustles or freelance work aren't just for extra cash. They are to buy shares of your freedom. You need to throw every spare dollar at the problem until it breaks. But offense means nothing if you have a hole in your pocket. Defense is cutting back on discretionary spend. That means saying no to the stuff you want now so you can afford the life you want later. Planning the year ahead prevents emotional spending. If you don't give your money a job, it will find a way to leave you. Defense isn't sexy, but it keeps the offense on the field. Beware the social tax. Your friends are the biggest threat to your first 100K. When they want to split the bill evenly on a fancy dinner where you only ordered a salad, that's peer pressure draining your wallet. You have to be comfortable being the boring one. True friends respect your goals. Broke friends want you to stay broke with them so they feel better about their bad decisions. Choose your circle wisely. Here is the enemy in plain sight, the bank. Look at that rate, 0.01%. That is an insult. Keeping your 100K in a standard savings account is guaranteed poverty. Inflation is eating 3% or 4%, and the bank is giving you crumbs. This isn't safe. It's a slow bleed. You are paying the bank to hold your money while they lend it out at 7%. Stop being their charity. And here is where you trap the wealth. The 401k isn't just savings. The employer match is free money. It's a 100% instant return. Turn that down and you are literally setting money on fire. The Roth IRA, earnings grow tax-free. That means when you hit that $1 million from the other chart, the government gets zero. These aren't accounts. They are tax shelters for your future empire. Use them. The first 100K sucks. It's lonely, it's slow, and it requires sacrifice. But it buys you freedom. Once you have it, the money starts working harder than you ever could. Stop looking for the get-rich-quick button and start pushing the snowball. If you're ready to grind to your first 100K, smash that like button and comment Snowball below so I know you're in the game. See you at the top. Peace.